Hey there, folks. So, last episode, I tried fixing some problems with our save game logic. Um, Fixed a couple of things in the episode before that, but I couldn't really get the solution I was aiming for in the last episode. And as I'd mentioned then, that is going to happen as you're working on things. You're going to find a problem that you can't quite figure out. Also, I said what I was going to do is I was going to update our dev map and actually prove out that our load or save and load game logic was actually doing what it was intended to do. So what I've got here, this is just our dev map. I've done a few quick modifications to it just for the purpose of this test. And then we'll find out if it's working, and if it's not, well, that's what the next couple episodes will be, is getting everything fixed and getting it working. So all I've done, added in a couple of buildings over here. The reason for that is we've got some doors on the back. I can't remember if we're saving door state. If we're not, that's something I'll adjust. I've added in our barn here for our interior volume. You can see it's got the gray box on the inside there. We have a deer I've added just for the purpose of saving where they're located in the world. And then we've got a campfire. I'll move this bush over here actually. Bush right there for our harvesting, and then some of our dev debug trees, just because we don't have the functionality for like swinging an axe yet. So now that we've got that done and saved, what we need to do is actually go back through the process that we're intending for our save game and our game structure to work. So that's our persistent level. We're going to open that up, and we're going to look at the level blueprint code. Open level blueprint. So in here you can see event begin play. We're getting our game instance. Failed to cast DF game instance. That means we have a problem. And actually what we want to do here is fix this, because we don't do that anymore. We're going to go just load level. As TF instance load level. Did I not make that blueprint callable? I didn't make it blueprint callable. And we don't want this to be blueprint callable, so we're going to fix that. So what we're going to do there then is I'm going to quickly delete that. We're going to compile and save, and we're actually going to close out and relaunch the editor. And this is something else you may run across when you're developing anything. You write code in a particular way. You think it's going to do something in a way you're wanting it to do. And then, in this case, when did I do this load logic? Let me take a look. How long ago was that? I know we're nearly at 100 videos in the actual series, and more than that when you include intermissions and everything, but load logic was that the year? Let's see how far back. Custom logging. Save game was episode 8, so like 90 episodes ago. And I know I've adjusted it since then. There was another episode where we fixed some of the logic around that. But so 90 episodes ago, and that would have been, what day did I release that even? July 12th. Wow. Okay, so August, September, 4 months ago. So yeah, it's been 4 months since I wrote. Actually, 4 months to the day. It's November 12th. 4 months to the day since I wrote that, and the way I thought about it then, I'm thinking about it in a different way now. And I showed that in the last episode where, this section of code is useless. So where I'm going with all of this, just while the editor loads, is you're going to stumble across these situations yourselves where you wrote code, you look back on it months down the line, and you're like, why did I write that? It doesn't make sense, or this doesn't work. Code evolves. Your approach to your code evolves. Your understanding of the code evolves as you write it. You start off, the best way I can describe it is you start off with this grainy, blurry picture of what you want. And as you write code, you add functions, you add in new features, that blurry picture starts to get clearer and clearer. And at the start, when you thought, oh, that blob over in the top left corner, that's an apple. Because it's really, really blurry. And then you start getting further along. All of a sudden, that becomes clearer, and you realize, oh, it's not an apple. It's a basketball. I know, extremely weird analogy, but it's a good way I can think of to describe it. Anyways, now that we've got that, let's go back to our persistent level. Open up our level blueprint again, and let's fix the code issue we just had there. So, as TF game instance, we want load level. So, there we go. And you'll just notice load level. There is no load level implementation because we don't want to expose that. So, we fixed that. That's a quick, pretty basic thing here. So, close out of this. So, we're going to hit play. And this should launch our, the following blueprints have unresolved compiler errors. Whoops. That is because we changed that logic. So let's go fix that. So third person UI. Nope. Where did it? Is that in the main project? Yes, it is. Okay, main menu. So in here, we go into our graph. We're going to notice here's our error. So we're just going to go load level. No, target is game instance. We want load level. Drag these pins off to replace it and get rid of that. So compile and save. That's working. Yep. Okay. So now that's fixed. We'll hit play in editor. Okay. So we don't need that. We're going to continue. Move you out of the way. Actually, close you. So here we are, new game, day length 60 minutes, third person. I'm going to turn that on. Complex needs, no, we're going to hit start. Alright, I didn't point it out, but yeah, so I put the player start location in the barn for the purposes of that. So now, oh, I put this barn too far down. Don't have sneak enabled yet, so we don't have that. Let me fix this the easy way. F8. Character. Grab the character. And we are just going to move him outside. Move him up just to make sure he's not on the ground. And control him. Alright, so let's go try a couple of things. We're going to run over. We're going to harvest the bush. We're going to harvest a tree. And then we're going to go over to the buildings and we're just going to stand in front of them. And then we'll be looking towards the trees when we save the game. Well, actually, no. First things first, we're going to come over. We're going to stand right next to the fire. Because I realized the first thing we wanted to do was the checking the state. So we're going to save there. Total of 11 were saved in 42 milliseconds. Okay, so let's... Yes, that still says harvest mushroom. Okay, so we harvested the bush and the far right tree was harvested. Go back to standing by the campfire here, looking over, and we're going to hit 9 to load. Okay, so that code I commented out that I said was useless, apparently not. So let's go and hop over to our game instance blueprint here a second. Because that tells me something wasn't unloaded. And that might be that the logs are not... Actually, there's an easier way to do this, I think. Levels. Can I hide that? No, it doesn't let me. Okay, so well, I'm going to do this here, hit 9, open this up, we hit that breakpoint, excuse me, currently loaded level is devmap 01, so we're unloading that level, about you. Let's go back to this. I'm going to put a breakpoint there. And we're going to continue. Now we've hit that dev map 01. Yeah. And step into that. Okay. So, alright, so obviously we've just proven that the code I said was useless is actually useful, because if you notice here, our bush is back, our tree is back, but our logs are still there. Well, we've done that, so now let's exit out of this and we're going to check through the menu. We're going to go get rid of these breakpoints that I put in there. Load game. Now, game 1, 2, 3, and random game name are ones I've created for the purpose of testing, but default is the one that was there. So we're going to hit load. And actually now I'm going to throw those breakpoints back in. So, level to load is dev map 1. Currently loaded level is main menu. So, okay, we're going down here. We're going to unload main menu. And this is where it's going to take a moment, and it might actually lock up because of how that's set up. Are you not responding, or are you just being weird? No, it's there. This isn't the place. So it loaded up, and now we're there. And you can see we didn't save our third person state. So actually that's something I'm going to address in another episode, because we're not saving our camera view on our player character. Oh, there's my notepad. Alright, so I'm going to make note of that. And this is something I've mentioned in other episodes, and I will mention periodically as it comes up. Highly suggest have a notebook next to you. Don't use a like Windows Notepad or Notepad++ or anything like that. Have a physical notebook, because then, like right here, we loaded in and this is what we saw. You don't want to change anything. You don't want to like, oh, okay, I have to move my mouse, I have to Alt-Tab out. Have a physical notepad with a pen or a pencil to make paper notes. Even if after you're done you transfer them through to a digital note, because that way you're not touching your computer. Like right now my hands aren't on the keyboard or the mouse. I'm actually gesticulating with my hands quite severely. But I have my notepad and my pen next to me, and I'm actually just going to make a physical note. Player, camera, view, not saved. And that's something then I can go through after this episode's done. I'll transfer that through to a digital note in my to-do list of things to fix, and we can go from there. But so now here you can see those logs are gone because they were unloaded. So that tells me that this chunk of code is actually needed. That's why I commented this out. Because, 1 second here, I'm going to cough. Sorry about that. Let me just make sure my mic's back on. Yep. The reason why I commented this out is, and that's why I put this note, review, as this is not needed due to having just reloaded base level. Well, this is part of it. We reloaded the base level, but those logs were still there because they weren't unloaded. Because though they are... Now let me get back to the editor here. So though they were in the breakpoints, we'll do this without the breakpoints because then you can see. So we're here. We fell, so that's a little concerning. Like we were in mid-air as we were spawned in. That might have been part of the level streaming. But those logs were placed into what I'm assuming is the persistent level, not the individually loaded level. Now, because I'm not expecting to deal with true level streaming, like the grand scale, huge open worlds, I'm not overly concerned by that. But at the same time, that is a concern because obviously we've got things being loaded into the wrong level. So, either way though, going back to what the whole purpose of this episode is about, this was to go through and show that the save game logic is working. So, why is our deer not doing anything? Or did I grab the wrong deer for that? Let's go take a look. Blueprints. Dev. Open up the deer blueprint and bring you over and open up that map. Okay, so deer is over here. Yeah, everything looks good there. Alright, so that looks good. We'll save the deer just up in the air there for purposes of that. And we're going to go back to our persistent level and load in a new game. Oh, actually, no, before we do that, I'm going to fix that barn being too high off the ground, or too low into the ground. So what you get when you place actors from place things from a distance, you can't really get a good perspective. So, okay, we'll fix that. We'll go back and we're going to load everything in. I want to see how that deer is behaving, because that seems a little weird to me. Okay, so play in editor, new game, enable third person. I'm going to drop this down to 30 minutes and start. Now I'm over here. What? Well, that's something else I'll have to figure out. Why am I here instead of over there? I'll figure out where the player's start is. Okay, and what's wrong with the deer? Let's eject deer. Something is not working there. Why? Let's move the deer up. Over. Oh, that's the controller. What am I doing? Deer. Yeah, we have no bite target. Actually, that could be that bite. I never fixed that. Your hunger's going down. Okay, so the stats are ticking. That's good. I'm not worried about fullness because don't have complex needs. Movement is sprinting, is sneaking. In there. Let's find the controller. Yeah, that's okay. Let's open up the controller there. It's a full blueprint. There's nothing fancy in there. I just want to perception, path follow component. Yeah, everything's correct there. Behavior tree. I am not sure what's going on there. So we move that around, that's working. When they fall, they're affected by gravity, and there is a nav mesh. I know there's a nav mesh. I said, oh, did that not save? No, it's there. Okay, so there is a nav mesh as well. It's not showing for some reason. Streaming level. Oh, that might be it. The deer has no nav mesh. So that's actually something that's different. That's a different problem that's not related to the save game. I'm not going to worry about that this episode. But let's figure out about that player start issue. Okay, it is actually back at the start of the level. Okay, so save. Open level blueprint. Do we have any logic in there? Yeah, okay. Begin play, get player pawn. If it is valid, found player, existing player pawn. We're not printing that, so we're going down here. Player start, if it is valid. Okay, I'm going to throw a blue breakpoint on this. We're going to move this out of the way and go back to our persistent level. Because something in there is not working. So play. New game, and this is something I consider as part of the load and save game logic, so because it was loading up our last location. Enable third person, start. Okay, so We are here. Is there a valid player character? No. Okay. Are they valid? Yes, so we've got the player start transform. We're going to... we've got that. We're setting their transform to the player start. We are spawning the BP third person character. We are possessing it by the controller. We're setting the input mode and hiding the cursor. So let's continue. We should be behind the barn. We are actually falling through space right now. But it would have been, by the looks of it, behind the barn. So let's go character. We're going to grab the player character. I'm going to set this to 500 for vertical space and repossess. No, we are getting set out in space because we are at 1693. We'll just say that. Player start. Player start PR. Oh, there's a second one, but that doesn't make sense. Well, we need to account for that. Player start PIE. So play an editor. Let's just search start. Yeah, we want player start, so then we're going to get class, and we want not equal to. Okay, we're going to do this. So get all actors of class, player start, did I have state in there before? No, that was start. Okay, player start, then we're going to do a for loop. For each with break. Promote to variable, start lock, class, and get class. We're going to go not equal. I have to clean this up. This code's getting all pushed around. So what this is doing, and this is something I'm probably going to convert to a code function, just because this gets a little complex, and I do want to add in random spawn points when you're starting a new game as well. I don't want the player to always start in the same location. So it's get all actors of class, player start. For each one of those, we're going to iterate through it. We're going to assign it as a player start location variable, but we're going to check... actually, no, I'm going to do this in a different way. If it's not a play-in editor, we're going to assign it. And then we're going to break. And once this loop is done, we're going to go down here, and if this is valid, we're going to grab its location. If it's not valid, we're going to print string no valid start point found. So I'm going to save that, and we're going to give this another try here. So I'm going to launch play, new game, enable third person, and start. Breakpoint instruction. Sure condition failed. Oh no, that's referencing the byte. Okay, what freaked out there? Oh, again, that's the deer's byte logic. Okay, so it has got two. It has got the start PIE and the player start. So step through this. That's what is... Okay, that should be... I didn't connect things. So this is some of the other really weird stuff you can do. And by weird, I say stupidly silly mistakes. You're excited to get something done. You're excited to finish and make something work, and you miss steps. My recommendation there, because it's going to happen, you're going to think, oh my god, why did I do that? My only recommendation that I can offer for ways to prevent that happening is slow yourself down. So, let's try this one more time. I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to play. New game. Start. Okay. We're now having a problem with our building code. Alright, so with this, folks, this is actually going to be a point where I'm going to say there's obviously a few deeper problems in here that I need to address. Right now, the problem is here is those 3 buildings that I have stacked over in the corner. It's an order of operations issue. They're trying to grab the information before it's available. I didn't account for that, so that's something we're going to have to fix. So, because now we're just in a perpetual exception loop, because we're trying to grab information that's not valid. Because B is open, is not initialized yet, so what we're going to do, we are going to stop here. I apologize, this is stuff I honestly should have caught earlier on. My own dev testing was not as expansive as I thought it was. I thought I had done all the testing around this. But honestly, I haven't done a lot of testing around this save and load game logic because, well, I haven't had anything to really test yet. I've been trying to get all the other stuff done. And this goes back to my analogy, and I'm not going to go into the details, but the whole building a house analogy. Now that things are there, we're starting to see some, I don't want to say cracks in the foundation. We're starting to see some places where the foundation wasn't poured thick enough. We now need to fix those. So, with that, we're actually all but at the 30-minute mark. So, I'm going to pretty much end the episode here. Next episode, I'm going to go through and we're going to figure out how to fix this issue we just ran into, where we have a race condition where I know exactly what the problem is, I'm just not sure how to fix it. Building base, we have right here, recalc seal, current state, seal value, not recalc seal, where is it? We are calling... Oh, where are we calling it in here? What is this? Git is closed. Let's find it in here. Git is... Okay, let's just do this. Find all references to. It's being called somewhere. Right there. Git is closed. Okay, that's just Visual Studio is being weird, because if I type git is... Okay, now it finds it. So anyways, right here, we need to adjust something, because Portal is technically not valid. There's a couple other things there. Sorry, it's not fully initialized. It's not that it's not valid. It's not fully initialized. So there's some additional checks we need to do. And some additional handling we need to do that. So, as I said though, I'm going to end this episode here. Next episode is, and it might actually be the next couple of episodes, because I don't know how deep some of these problems run. And this is part of the things I wanted to cover with this series, is what to do when things stop working. I've had a couple of people reach out because they've had problems with their follow-along project. Sometimes it's been the blueprints. Sometimes it's been they missed a line of code. So I want to try and offer some help there in general as well. So next episode we're going to fix this and possibly a couple other issues along the way. But as always, folks, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below or hop over onto the Discord. Respond to things as quickly as possible. I've got Discord and YouTube Studio on my phone, so unless I'm asleep, I try to respond almost right away or in a meeting. But anyways, folks, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.